Welcome to the first ever YouTube exclusive episode of Bad Dubs and Flying Swords here on the Geek Show Podcast Network's YouTube channel. A series of videos where we take a two-man talk about everything that Asian movies has to offer. Right, so first film, Shin Godzilla, out in cinemas quite recently.
Yep.
Which is amazing, so...
Yeah, it's nice to see Godzilla at the cinema again. It was nice to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, it's been sort of internet gag, kinda, along the lines of Cthulhu, but to see it on the big screen anyway. But what's your exposure to Godzilla?
I've watched every single Godzilla movie.
You know.
I've watched every single Godzilla movie since the first one.
Yeah. I've only seen the American ones, this one and the original. I kind of stayed away from the versus movies because it basically turns him into a superhero.
Well, yeah.
It's a bit silly.
It is a bit silly. It's cheesy as hell, but that's kind of the fun thing about them.
I guess.
I know there are a lot of people who are kind of Godzilla purists who will say, "Oh, only the first one counts."
Well, it doesn't count. It's the best one.
Yeah, the first one is the best one, but yeah,
it does have competition now. Look.
Don't knock a couple of guys in rubber suits punching the crap out of each other on like a toy version of Tokyo.
Yeah, but it's not a toy; it's like a soundstage. But not to correct you or anything. But this one it's called Shin Godzilla. That means New Godzilla.
Yep.
Totally different.
Yeah, it's a totally different animal.
Because it's not a Godzilla movie. It's a film about Japanese politics that just so happens to have Godzilla messing about in the background.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird beast, and the director is Hideki Anno, and most people will probably know him from things like Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Well, hopefully this is him showing the world that I can do things that aren't just, that franchise.
Well, he can do things that aren't just that franchise. I mean...
no, in a much more vocal way.
Well, the thing is, he's done stuff like His and Her Circumstances and Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Yes, they're anime titles, but a lot of people do regard them as better than Evangelion.
And he did a karate movie a few years ago called Nowhere Girl, which was surprising. It surprised a lot of people. But
exactly.
This one, it starts off with... Well, it's odd. It's sort of the Japanese diet building where it takes place, and a lot of it is there's something happening underwater, there's something changing, there's a life form there, and so there's a lot of deciding, what should we do about that, and there's this one guy who says, yeah, it's alive, and people on the internet have been saying it's this or it's that, and we see the first shot of Godzilla, which doesn't look like Godzilla.
Well, when the creature first appears, you see the tail first coming out of the water, and then it goes onto land, and it just looks like this weird kind of bug-eyed thing. You see the scales at the back. It's like a
spiny turd with googly eyes.
Yeah, you see the Godzilla's, the scale things, the vertical fins that Godzilla has on his back. You see those, and I thought, okay, this is Godzilla. But then it's crawling along the floor.
And I thought this is a thing that Godzilla's going to beat the hell out of.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I thought it was going to be another kind of Godzilla versus some weird monster that's crawled out the ocean.
Yeah.
And it turns out that's not the case at all.
Because it evolves.
Yeah, apparently.
It evolves. And then it evolves, and then it evolves to the state where it basically shoots lasers out of its back. And out
of its tail.
And it's probably got the biggest fire breath it's ever had.
Yeah. Which is impressive.
Because it destroys most of Tokyo.
Yeah. It's impressive. They do keep the nuclear thing in there.
Oh yeah, it's like nuclear fallout, wherever it goes.
Yeah, and the whole thing of getting rid of Godzilla with a nuclear weapon, which the Japanese really don't want to do.
It's about the Americans.
Yeah, the Americans want to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found interesting was this whole idea, and this comes through a lot because most of my background, as you know, is with anime, and this appears a lot in certain anime titles as well. Just how much of a hold over Japan America has.
Yeah, that was surprising.
And when it comes to Japanese politics, that's again another thing that a lot of people, just the average person on the street, they don't understand why America continues to have such a hold over Japan.
Well, I don't want to say let's get stuck in the politics, but it's kind of hard not to, because it is about politics, and it does basically say the current Japanese establishment are useless.
Yeah.
They're utterly useless. It's tied up in red tape. They can't make any decisions, and it's largely nepotistic stuff run by old men who have no touch with anything.
Well, that was the thing that comes through a lot during the conversations in the movie between the politicians. They're all more focused on how will this affect the public perception of them, how will this affect their career, the prospects of them moving up the political ladder.
We're making it sound really boring, but it's so much more energetic and and vibrant than anything else.
Yeah.
And then people start dying, and its whole message seems to be, come on world, come on Japan, we can do better with politics.
Yeah.
It doesn't need Godzilla here to do this stuff. But it's also really energetic and exciting, as you'd expect it. I mean, it does follow the same rules as the sort of the recent American Godzilla thing. It's got Godzilla is in about 20 minutes. It's a 2-hour film. He's in about 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
But it's such a good 20 minutes because it all builds up to this plan of America's going to drop the atomic bomb. Godzilla's basically an evolution chrysalis, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, you remember the original way they got rid of Godzilla, the oxygen destroyer? I like the way they worked that into the actual plot.
Well, yeah. They basically got this whole thing with like train bombs and all sorts of things.
See, that was amazing. I thought that was brilliant.
Really cool.
Especially the whole thing with the cranes as well.
Yeah, it was just really energetic, really... Well, it's just really fun.
Yeah, and I like the way that...
it's a political film.
Yeah, I like
it's really fun.
The thing is, I like the way that they sent the message that everyone working together, all the disparate groups of the military and the government and, the emergency services, could actually take on something like Godzilla.
Yeah, I don't want to politicise this too much.
Yeah.
But this is a Godzilla movie which is just perfect for the chaos that's going on in the world right now.
Yeah. The weird thing is, the politics side of it, you'd think would be boring.
No, it's not.
And I actually found it quite interesting.
Good.
Because it was very fast-paced. It didn't dwell on it too much. It was more a snapshot of the politics of it and how these people in the government were just kind of focused on their career. But then it cut away to something else that was...
like a little fracture group. But that's the thing. It's hard to recommend this. Well, that's not hard. It's really fun. Yeah. It's really super fun. But you might not like it because it's got such a massive cast and you don't know who's who. It centres a lot around sort of this leader of a sort of research group. Who was the lead character in Love and Peace. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And there's also Shinya Sakamoto turns up, which was so fun.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of...
So where's the body horror, Shinya? I was expecting body horror. But no, it's really energetic, really fun. You don't feel changed by the amount of Godzilla on screen.
Yeah.
Because they've turned him into a monster again. They de-godded him.
Yeah. I did like the sneaky thing that they've inserted into the movie.
What's that?
Which is the suggestion that someday Japan will take over America.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
That sneaky little thing with the congressman's daughter.
Yeah.
And her political career. I love the little insertion of that.
That is very sly.
Yeah, very sly.
I'm so happy it's being shown on cinemas. I'm so happy that people get a chance to see it.
It's been getting a lot of positive feedback.
That's just brilliant. We couldn't have started off this YouTube series with a better sort of Asian movies just going, hello, we are here.
Yeah,
movie.
And I like the fact that it doesn't have an English dub.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's got characters speaking English, and they do it very well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have an English dub, for which I will forever be thankful if they never put an English dub to it. Because at the end of the day, get used to reading subtitles.
Yeah. Shin Godzilla's awesome.
Yes.
This first edition of Bad Dubs and Flying Swords was shot on location in Game On Cafe in Stockton. Here it is, right here. And if you're in the northeast of England, in Teesside especially, why not pop in? You might even catch us recording one time.
Okay, second film then is The Man from Nowhere.
Yeah, this was one of these films that was sat on my DVD shelf for years and I never actually got around watching it.
See, I watched it a couple of years ago, and going back and rewatching it, it actually holds up a lot better than I thought it would.
It's basically Korean Taken.
Yeah, it is. And so much better.
It's about a guy who owns a pawn shop. Don't know the full story behind him, and there's also a drug bust in there, and drug dealership and Chinese gangs in Korea, and a little bit about a mother who's got a drug issue and a daughter who's adorable.
Yeah.
Who makes a connection with the pawn shop owner. The pawn shop owner is the main character, and he's played by a Korean model called Won Bin. And when we get models to do acting, we get bloody Cara Delevingne, who's like wood. And in Korea gets it. It's like charismatic, wonderful performances.
Yeah, but that goes back to kind of the Korean, Japanese, Chinese.
It's an industry thing. We're not going to get bogged down in that.
Their industry is a very, very different.
But we could do a video on that entirely of itself, and we won't do that. We won't bore people or subject people to that.
Yeah, I know.
But this is an action film. Its action is built up to and earned. It's more of a drama. It puts more focus on telling a story, and then when the story dictates that this is action, this is when action should happen, it does it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's very direct with its approach. When it comes to the action.
Melodramatic as balls. Be fair.
Hey, melodramatic as balls is fine, especially when it's got some explosions to go with it.
It's got an explosion, but it's more earned melodrama than let's just have everybody crying and loads of music over the top.
See, I like that though. I like my movies when they have like loads of crying, loads of soul searching, and then headbutts.
Yeah. But what I like about this is it's basically about the guy has a horribly tragic backstory.
Yes.
But we're not going to get into that.
No, this is one of the reasons why you say it's like the Korean Taken, and I do agree with you.
It's cheap marketing.
Yeah.
This is how they promote it. Like, Tadanobu Asano is the Japanese Johnny Depp. It's so cheap, but that's what people say.
Yeah. But, they do, you do say it's like the Japanese Taken, but it's not as aggressively macho as Taken.
No. He's not as invincible either. Basically, he dies at one point.
Well, this is the thing. I like the fact that your lead character has that vulnerability to him.
Yeah, and I also like the old kung fu trope. You know, when this guy who's been out, he's basically like an old guy he had violence in his past, but he doesn't want anymore. So he goes off the road and he grows his hair out.
Yeah,
and then he grows his beard out, and then things go bad, and then he's serious because he's had a haircut. Yes. And he has that trope, and I love that he has that trope. And then when he's had a haircut, he basically becomes a monster.
Well, you know the whole thing about the hair.
Well, is it Samson?
No, it's not the Samson thing. It's an old thing. Have you seen Princess Mononoke?
Not recently, but yeah.
There's the whole thing when Ashitaka leaves the village, he has to cut his hair.
Oh, right.
And then he's dead to them. Yeah. And one of the...
Yeah, it's like when you get your top knot cut in a samurai clan, it basically means you are no longer part of that clan.
Well, there is another version of that. If you have the hair and you basically cut it off, it's kind of a sign of an oath.
Oh, well, okay. But let's not get too much in that.
Yeah.
It's incredibly dramatic.
Yes.
It has some unexpected notes. It also has like a side angle where it's got like the police investigation.
Yeah.
And true to every Korean film ever made, the police are idiots.
Yes.
I mean, there's one who's like really dedicated, and he's going to capture the main character who basically killed, like, he never killed him. He hospitalised half a police force when he escaped from prison early on in the movie. So he wanted to get him captured, and another one was basically an idiot. Yeah.
But this is the thing that I always get confused about with Korean films is why they don't like the police so much.
I could list off films upon films. I mean, two pretty good ones are Memories of Murder and The Wailing. They don't like police
exactly
at all. But yeah, it's just a thing. You get used to it. It's when you look at American films and TV, and police are basically gods. They're untouchable, they're beyond reproach. When you see something that says, you know what, police are just basically stupid and they don't know what they're doing, they just kind of make up as a go. And that's good. That's fine. But yeah, I enjoyed that about it. One thing I don't like. I mean, action's very well choreographed. Won Bin is a very charismatic performer.
Oh yeah, he's very good.
And he does the choreography well, he does all the moves well, but it's just the guy who was shooting the action scenes is an idiot.
Yeah.
Because he has he moves around with the action, but it's also shaky, and it's all elaborate, so it's a little bit disorientating. Not in the way that the Bond movies are, but it's still plenty disorientating on its own.
I don't know. I quite like the action scenes in the first couple of Bond movies.
Yeah, but
I think after that they got a bit too carried away with just how good the action scenes were.
yeah, a monkey on a sort of a relaxing chair, recliner chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What we're over there? Oh, it doesn't matter then. We'll just cut. We'll whip cut and it'll be perfectly fine and nobody will notice.
At least it doesn't do the whole thing where they do like 50,000 cuts and then string them all together.
Like Taken does.
Like Taken does, yeah.
I think famously it took about 15 shots for him to jump over a fence.
No, it was more like 20.
Well,
20,
it's a
25,
lot. It's
like
a lot of cuts to jump over a fence.
But then again, what do you expect? He's 70, isn't he? Or
60 odd. Yeah.
60, 70.
But yeah, I enjoyed Man from Nowhere a lot, but it feels like sort of a lesser version of A Bittersweet Life, which is a masterpiece. I'll be honest. Style of a substance, but what style?
Yeah, but I mean, the nice thing about The Man from Nowhere, I like the catharsis at the end.
Yeah. Not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it. I think the ending. I think it ended the only way it really could have.
Because he's basically grieving for what happened to him, and he has that opportunity through that little girl to sort of just gain closure.
Yeah. And I think that was. I think if they ended it any other way, it wouldn't be the same movie.
And when you look at Taken, which is the obvious comparison, but I don't like doing it, it's like somebody's taken, and he gets him back, and then it happens again, and then it happens again, and then it happens again, and then it happens again.
He's not very good. He's not a very good parent, is he?
No, he's not. He's got to sort his life out, And stop killing everybody who's not the same skin colour as him, because that's what those movies are.
Yeah, that and maybe keep his daughter on one of those, the child's harnesses.
yeah. Well, but that's it. That's Man from Nowhere anyway.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it.
Yes, I did enjoy it as well. Like I said, it holds up a lot better than I thought it would, because I saw it originally years ago. And going back and watching it again, it was a fun ride.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and it's emotional and it's just good. It's a good, solid Korean movie.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this video on the Geek Show Podcast Network. If you like, click down below on the like button or subscribe, or click somewhere here on my chest and there should be a link to click to subscribe to a podcast that's relevant to this video. Over there is a video which is relevant. Under there is one of our many interview videos. So thank you for watching and we'll see you next time here on the Geek Show Podcast Network on YouTube.